Today, we're going to talk about the two best type of leads for final expense telesales and why. So if you're considering working with an insurance company or an insurance agency maybe that offers, one of these two types of leads, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video. First, let's get into some of the pros and cons of final expense television ad leads. And yes, this is the perfect time for you to give the video a like. And guys, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe. We're putting out new insurance sales and final expense training videos like every week. With TV leads, there are two main types. Now, you've got the TV lead where the caller sees the TV commercial, calls in, and you, the agent, actually answers the phone. Then you have the TV lead where the prospect calls in and speaks with like a customer service representative. The customer service rep then inputs the prospect's information into their system, and the agents are either like given the lead, later, or like with companies like Senior Life of Georgia, the leads get input into the system and the first agent that buys it wins and, gets the lead. Like, you got to be fast and ready. As far as the pros of TV leads, well, the bottom line is that the prospect saw a TV commercial about the importance of having final expense burial insurance, and they actually called in to get a quote. That's pretty cool, right? I mean, this is as high intent that you can get for a final expense lead. And if you'd like a copy of a final expense telesales presentation, along with our free telesales new agent kit, which this kit, it has sales materials specific to telesales. Just stick around until the end of the video, and what I'm going to do then is show you how you can get both of these guys for yourself. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the negative aspects of the TV leads outweigh the pros. And just hear me out. First, if you want enough of these leads to earn like a six-figure income, you're probably going to need to be licensed in, I want to say, at least 35 to maybe 45 states. That's easily going to cost around $5,000. I mean, just for the non-res licensing. So even if you do this, there is no guarantee that you'll be able to get enough TV leads to make like at least a handful of presentations per day. Another negative aspect is that you actually have to stand on hold throughout the day waiting for the leads to come in. So let's put it this way. Instead of being on the phone making presentations, you're waiting between calls for the next one to come in, which could be hours. And then there's the cost. These type of leads cost anywhere from at least $50, depending on which type it is, to even over $75 per call. So if you want to make like 6 to 8 presentations per day the way our agents do, this can easily cost you around $2,500 throughout the week. However, truth is, you rarely will have a day where you get in those 6 to 8 presentations per day. Okay, so what about those final expense funnel ads that generate these appointments, where the clients fill out a lead form and then they actually set an appointment to speak with an insurance agent about getting a quote for affordable burial insurance. The Facebook calendar appointments are the preferred lead for independent agents, and I'm going to explain why. The thing is, they are what we use in our agency. However, and let me just say, in all transparency, they are definitely not for everyone. And here's why. You see, first off, there's no actual way to buy these calendar appointments. They're just not something that a lead vendor can generate while guaranteeing like a specific amount of appointments. Second, in order for you to get these appointments, there are a couple of different options. The first is to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on one of those fancy funnel systems. We're seeing these things being sold for like, I want to say anywhere from $5,000 to over $10,000, and you're probably seeing ads. If you're watching my YouTube channel, you're seeing a couple of people that are advertising their funnel systems here. And then once you have your calendar funnel ad system, you do have to spend the time and the money that it's going to take to figure out what ads work the best, what landing pages are like more effective for getting the appointments, and like what days and times are best for running the ads. And in many cases, like one of the things we did was we had to figure out a way to make sure that these folks actually knew that this wasn't some free thing. By the time you figure out all of this, you've spent so much money that it's going to be hard to see the upside of doing this. The second way of getting access to like one of these calendar funnel ad systems is to find an insurance agency that will run the system for you. You know, and again, I know I mentioned this before, but this is what we do for our agents. The idea is that the agency knows when and where to run the ads, you know, the best places, the best times, you know, when it'll work best. And therefore, all the agent needs to do is pretty much set their weekly advertising budget and sell. Easy peasy. Either way, guys, if you're going to sell final expense over the phone, I definitely suggest using either one of these leads or the other. The TV leads and Facebook funnels calendar leads are of the highest intent of the industry. They're definitely better than like your regular telemarketed lead or telemarketed transfer lead. The thing that they both have in common is that the prospect is the one who's actually doing the initial action to start the purchasing process. And you know, like with, you have these telemarketer companies that'll give you these transfers. The telemarketers are calling out to people, cold calling them, and then saying, hey, can we've got an agent here that wants to give you a quote, blah, 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 and then they're doing the transfer. So the intent just isn't there initially from the consumer. First, the only way to get an affordable transfer is to buy from an offshore call center. When you buy from offshore call centers, you're running the risk of buying and using illegal and non-TCPA compliant leads. Trust me, guys, I've already experienced the downfalls of this, and you can easily be sued for like $30,000+, potentially even more. The other thing about this type of transfer is that the people you're speaking with are being cold called, you know, like I mentioned before, from the telemarketers. When the prospect answers the phone, the telemarketer informs them of like a new burial insurance available in their state and asks them if it's okay to give them a no obligations quote. If the prospect says yes, now what you're doing is you're pitching, you're making a presentation to someone that has that lower intent. You know, remember, they didn't make the first step of the purchasing process. They were solicited by a telemarketer. Finally, the main issue with this type of lead is that you are either going to get several transfers per hour. Guys, that doesn't work if you're on the phone making a presentation when the transfer comes in, right? Or you can only get like a few per day. If I could figure out a way to guarantee a transfer every 45 minutes, this type of lead would actually work. It would actually be something that I would consider using. However, many have tried and all have failed. Guys, check this out. If you would like free final expense telesales training, just click on the link above. This thing is going to take you to our 3-part series that covers like everything you need to learn to sell final expense over the phone successfully. For a copy of the telesales presentation and the free telesales new agent file, the stuff that I mentioned earlier, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on selling final expense through our top producer telesales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address, guys. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. So get on that phone and do something good for someone today. Happy hunting.